To the one listening right now, you've been silent for too long, not because you had nothing to say, but because you were surrounded by people who never deserved to hear your voice. Now you're here, not to be saved, but to finally remember who the hell you are. You weren't made to be liked. You weren't made to be safe. You were made to be feared. And it's time they learn what that truly means. They never wanted the real you. They wanted the version of you that stayed quiet, that kept their secrets, that played small, that died a little each day to make everyone else feel safe. But what they didn't realize is that every time they tried to shrink you, they were feeding something far more dangerous inside you, not a victim, not a survivor, a monster with purpose, a god made of silence, pain, and memory. They were comfortable when you were begging, but they start to tremble now that you're becoming. Let's make something clear. You weren't forged in light. You were forged in rejection, in betrayal, in abandonment. In those cold nights when no one came, in those days when they laughed at your dreams, doubted your strength, and thought you'd break. But you didn't break. You built. You stacked every betrayal like bricks. You took every insult like iron. Every scar became armor. Every silence became strategy. And every time they overlooked you, you stepped 1 inch closer to becoming unforgettable. They said, "You've changed." Good, because the version of you they knew was a weapon still loading. You changed because survival was no longer enough. You wanted power. You changed because you realized peace was a lie they used to control you. You changed because you were never meant to blend in with the weak. Let's not pretend anymore. They don't want you powerful. They don't want you healed. They don't want you to wake up, because the moment you do, you become untouchable. You see, fear isn't a weakness. Fear is acknowledgement. It's the soul recognizing power in its purest, most brutal form. And now, you wear fear like a crown. You don't have to be the villain in their story, but if that's the price of owning your power, let them call you what they want. Because what they really fear isn't your anger. It's your silence. It's the fact that you don't flinch anymore. You don't ask anymore. You don't wait anymore. They don't fear what you've become. They fear what they can't control. They fear that now you don't need them. No more apologies. No more explaining yourself to people who benefit from your doubt. No more shrinking to fit places that could never contain you. The truth is, you were made to be feared, because only the feared are respected without being loved. Only the feared walk through fire and don't beg for rescue. Only the feared become legends, while the rest become cautionary tales. They made you a weapon. Now you choose where to strike. They made you hard. Now you move like war. You are not the storm. You are what survives after the storm kills everything else. You are not the echo. You are the silence that follows when the world holds its breath in your presence. Let them whisper. Let them stare. Let them label you heartless, cold, dangerous, because they'll never admit the truth. You terrify them, because you remind them of everything they'll never become. You became what they prayed you'd never be: independent, unapologetic, unstoppable. They fed you doubt. You grew teeth. They fed you fire. You became the flame. They fed you lies. You answered with reality they could never deny. And now the very rooms that used to ignore you go silent when you walk in. Now the ones who used to laugh behind your back can't make eye contact anymore. Now the ones who used to own you emotionally can't even survive the weight of your presence. You were never supposed to be accepted. You were never meant to belong because you weren't born for comfort. You were born for conquest. So wear the fear, speak the truth, command the silence, and walk like the world already knows that you were never made to be liked, never made to be good, never made to be saved. You were made to be feared. And now, they'll never forget it.